Hello and welcome back to another episode of We Talking About. Today we're talking about iZombie Season 2, Episode 2.
I covered it on my notes so you wouldn't look over
I
here.
always know what episode we're on.
I always know. How
I
dare
even
you.
sometimes know what season we're on.
Occasionally, I even know the season. Second episode.
Season
episode. 2.
So what were your thoughts on this episode before we go into anything about it?
Like an overview thing?
Yeah.
Let me remind myself what the hell this episode is. Yeah.
I watched this episode I think 3 days ago, so it's the longest distance between watching and talking about it that I've ever gone, I think, for an iZombie episode.
Did you accidentally watch it then?
No. I just knew that I didn't have a lot of time this week and I had to just do it when I could.
So this episode just sort of kept the same. So I was really impressed with the first episode of the season or whatever. This was just like another episode.
Now, certain things, like I remember you liked the in the kitchen montage-y bit.
There
was a similar thing that time. Was it just not as impressive this time because it was the second time?
Well, so like the first time, you're like, oh cool, they're gonna do that now, and then you see it again, and you go, okay, like we haven't moved the needle anymore or something like that.
I suppose.
Right? And the first one had some, I don't know. The first one was such a shock where I'm like, oh my god, you gave these people money. And they still sort of have the money, it seems, and everything's fine. But a lot of my complaints are still there, and a lot of my things I like.
This episode made me chuckle more than most episodes.
I chuckled too.
What was funniest moment of this episode?
Consult the notes.
I'll tell you mine. So Liv is talking to one of the frat guys. And he's like, yeah, I called your work, talked to some Jamaican guy. I was dying.
I remember that.
Because they're so stupid. All of them are so stupid.
Yes.
And the idea that he confuses Indian for Jamaican.
Like British accent Indian. Yeah, I got your deets from some Jamaican guy at the morgue. Some weird face, I don't know, like the poor man's Channing Tatum guy calls up and says that.
I was dying.
I liked when he's like the next day in there and he's doing his stuff and he has his phone and he's gonna play back his notes from the night before or whatever, and it's even named correctly, voice 00004 and all that shit, like it is on your real phone. And the first one's like, my blood pressure is, oh, I love you, and he's just doing like dumb shit.
What?
You're amazing, and he's like, and then he kind of makes a face like, oh geez, all right, fuck, well, all right, let's just move on to the next one. I'm sure I did what I intended to do, and the next one is just him freestyling.
Yeah,
I'm backtracking and lacking, attacking, and so he's doing all this weird stuff, and he goes, oh, fuck, that made me actually do the laughing. There's probably other stuff too.
I can't recall the other one, but I definitely chuckled a few times during this episode. So let's start. Where does this episode begin?
It actually opens on the please help us find our father, he's missing.
Yeah.
Of the guy that it seems like, so they continued not to show it, and you said last episode maybe that dude wasn't in that bag and the dude is somewhere else or something like that. I'm not sure that's the case, but they still haven't shown anything, so I'm wondering if that's the case.
Yeah, no, and it could build to episode 3, but I'm gonna actually assume he's dead just because of how distraught Major seemed the whole episode.
Sense, yeah.
That if he just had a dude in the closet, he probably wouldn't feel the same way.
I totally agree with that. I still think well, I guess there's nothing to show.
Yeah.
Sort of like a whatever. But yeah, Major is distraught. And but we quickly move on. He's watching it repeatedly on his iPad.
Yeah, on his iPad. Yeah.
Ooh. But we go to some toga party where a dude gets
ganked by a fucking Mr. Wiggle. His name was Australian TV show McKids something other.
Fuck, I didn't write it down. Yes, he's Norway's most famous whatever the fuck. God,
Mr. Snuckles is amazing.
Mr. Snookles? I didn't write it down.
Whatever his name is.
I hate myself. Nope, we have to cancel this.
All right, starting over tomorrow.
Start over, cut this, get it out of here. I wrote down the brain cooking montage, but it was nachos this time, right? I was starving.
And you love nachos.
I love nachos, and that makes sense because there's jalapenos, and it's spicy.
I think there's something either about you or your living room. I get tired the second I sit down. I don't yawn all day.
Oh, yeah?
And then when we're doing this, I'm like, people that watch this must be like, guy's just yawning all the time.
I didn't even notice you were yawning. You're yawning very quietly. Your mic technique's impeccable.
I'm just amazing.
See, people would know if I was yawning.
I
sound like a Wookiee.
I have 2 types of yawn, and there's the I'm exhausted yawn, and that's very loud. And then I have It is. I can't imitate it on
but you
purpose.
say like, and that's very loud.
Well, that one there's no not
heavens,
noticing
yes.
it, and I'm sure you've been around when I've done it.
Yeah.
But it was described to me once as the T-Rex from Jurassic Park 1. Right when he's about to get the Jeep, he just like lets out like a roar.
Yeah.
And but then there's just a like yawn where it's
Just
like a cat's yawn.
Or you just open your mouth like the girl from The Grudge or whatever, or the little kid.
That one wasn't a fake one. That was actually real just now.
You ever fake yawn, and then it makes you real yawn, and you're like, does everyone think I'm just fucking, that's just like the longest yawn ever? Like, who saw me do that? I went into a spider's web. Oh, God.
And it was in your mouth. we were at work, and a girl dropped a marker into the toilet when she went to the bathroom, and she comes out, she's like, oh, remind me to wash my marker off. I dropped it in the toilet. There was no...
Is there another part of the story?
There's no running water at that.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
But, like, you can still, like, use a toilet to pee. It just would sit in there. Whatever.
Oh, God. So there's no way to flush? How do you flush?
You don't? I don't know.
Okay.
But regardless, she's like, remind me to wash my marker off because that happened. And I'm like, all right. And then, like, later on, we're, like, went to get food. And, we're eating pizza. And I'm like... we're like finished at this point, and I'm like, and by the way, you still have not washed anything.
And she's like,
and and your hand was in the toilet because you pulled a marker out of it. And she's like, fuck, you're right.
And also, your hand was in the toilet, unless you had like a ladle in there or a spatula or something, and you just wicked it out. I don't think that's true though. I don't know. Ugh.
She took it really well. She's like, the past is the past. And I'm like, it's true.
It's true. You can't take back all that toilet into mouth.
Yeah. They say a dog's mouth is cleaner than yours, and they drink from the toilet, so they must know something you don't.
And then they lick your face, so it's really just
sometimes they spit in your mouth while you're sleeping.
Oh,
dogs are fiends.
I don't have a dog, that's why.
That makes it even weirder that dogs are spitting in your mouth.
That makes it even stranger. But I don't have a cat because they fucking steal your breath and kill you. It's horrible. And that turns out to just be a little man on the wall.
Yeah. So back to the episode.
Blaine talks about now we go back to Blaine. And
yeah.
He's like doing Blaine stuff and everything. And there's Mr. Boss or whatever, which I thought was hilarious at first, and then it became like the guy's actual name, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Everything in this show is on the nose.
Yes.
Like either ironically or exactly.
I'm wondering if it's ironically though now because it's
like
happening
Suzuki's
so
name
much.
was really Dr. Detective. Like it's like what? Was he a doctor? He was.
Lieutenant Commander Dr. Detective Suzuki, Commandant.
And now it's just the car he drove.
They just named it after his motorcycle.
Yeah.
He's still looking for the tainted utopium. Utopium? I said it right.
Yep. Utopia?
And he shows the guy like that there's zombies.
Yeah.
It's, like Eddie E
yeah.
or something.
He's like,
walks
your brother was
downstairs.
crazy, eh? Blah blah blah. And he comes down. And that guy's like licking
like,
brain hole.
Come on. Stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes, which is cool.
I wonder how he keeps the zombies in check now.
I know.
Because he's just food.
Yeah, I know. That I've been thinking about this the whole time. I've been thinking about literally everything.
And where did that zombie come from? We never met that zombie slave until this moment.
He must have been in the freezer, but not at the place that blew up, because that place blew up.
I don't get it. And like, what?
There's a lot of things now, so because the production value has increased, I feel better. But the minute I begin to like ponder and nitpick and all that stuff,
like as a boss who's a human, why would you even want like servants that were zombies anymore?
No.
It only makes sense when you're a zombie because you're like, all right, they got nothing on me. Now we're both essentially human. But when it's like, yeah, I employ gods, and then when they're angry, they just crush me.
Yeah.
What?
And like he's like literally being like, go fuck yourself to people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just assuming that the fact that he's their hookup is gonna be like enough to keep him like safe. I don't know.
When you're rich, you can pay anyone to kill people. Like that's just how it works.
And his clients are rich, crazy motherfucker. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But to continue with Blaine right quick. We do learn more about Blaine's background and
yeah, if you want to just do the Blaine parts.
But yeah, just to hammer through.
I love Blaine.
Blaine's dad is Teabag from Prison Break.
Really?
Yes. I actually love that dude.
I liked him a lot. That's awesome.
In my casting of Prison Break Batman, that's when you cast the whole Batman movie and he's nothing but characters from Prison Break. He was my Joker.
Really?
Yes.
Because he had this great thing like
Theodore Bagwell, Teabag.
Is that his actual thing?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I have to say I have to watch Prison Break and never watch it still.
It's amazing. It's coming back on the air very soon.
But he did
I'm excited.
His thing of like, Dad, I just need some some startup money. This is gonna change everything. His like little thing like that. I was like, ooh, that was really good. I like that. When he later talks to him,
he's a good actor.
He seems like a good actor, and he's also a zombie. And his mother is dead, and his grandpa's in an insane asylum, and that's what he says.
Or an old folks home.
He's gonna do. Is that what he said?
He just said, "I'm gonna put you in that same place you put Granddad." I assumed.
They mentioned it earlier, and it wasn't insane asylum. It was like something else, like facility or something.
Like Sleepy Acres or some shit.
Okay.
Is what I assumed.
I thought it was something else, worse and bad or whatever.
Well, a shitty, old folks home can be pretty shitty.
No, totally. But that was the thing. He says your Horatio Alger story would consisted of you making a phone call or something like that. And I was like, good times. So I don't even know if this guy's even that bad to like deserve any of this treatment, or if Blaine is just doing Blaine-ness or whatever. But he sees this as his in to extort from him and take over his thing.
I love that he is still charging his dad. Like he turned him and is charging him the $25,000 a month.
Yeah.
And asking for $200,000, I believe.
$500,000.
$500,000, yeah.
Which I don't know if it's a lot of money to him or not, but it's certainly a lot more than $25,000.
But if it's not a lot of money to him, why is Blaine only asking for $25,000 for brains? Like
he just didn't think this through. He set a price. It's a fair market price.
And it's the same across the board, which that shouldn't be.
No matter how much money you have, because whatever. What do we think about all this like stuff or whatever? Blaine's rise to power, the criminal whatever.
I think they're biting off more than they can chew here, obviously. And it just seems a little forced to keep him relevant because he like shouldn't be as much anymore.
To keep Blaine relevant.
They should have just kept him as he was, a brain dealer. He has the morgue. He's on the up and up, and that should have been it. He's just been like that dude. And like they could have fed off. He could have been like the Huggy Bear where they get information from and stuff every now and again. Like
like listen, I'm trying to run an operation here. Just get out. Stop. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. People are gonna be here any minute. Just come on. And she goes,
Something.
Tell me. I don't know. This felt like a weird kind of deviation from all that stuff. He mentioned it in season 1 that he wants to like run the city or whatever.
Yeah. It was more likely in season 1 for him though.
Yes. And I don't know. I guess he likes being a human a lot.
He could have asked his slave dude just to scratch him.
Yeah, I thought of that in like the first episode. And I'm like, wait, is he really not a zombie? And he has to have her like put makeup on him so that he still kind of looks like a zombie when he goes to see certain people, right? She was like making him up to look paler and stuff. Now it's this weird
the other way.
Right, just to make sure that no one gets suspicious.
Well, also, an angry zombie client could eat him.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but can't they just smell him as like you're a
you
human.
would think.
Yes,
I totally know.
Something.
Because that's how that should
work.
When
he sees them, they're hungry too, so...
And they definitely reacted that way because the one woman killed the delivery boy for that very reason. You started seeing him look like a pork chop and stuff. And it was like, I need them brains out of there.
He was a little pork choppy.
Forget where the Blaine bit ends. I mean, we should say like the...
What were you gonna say?
Well, like the drugs dealer guys get killed.
Yeah, all his dealers start turning up dead, and
that dude like
he gets called from that one guy saying how like oh you got help, it's just me and you, buddy.
Me and you,
throws
pal.
His phone away.
We're in this together, 100%. Great. Okay. And it goes.
If you need anything,
smash.
call me on this number, and he smashes the phone
immediately. I loved that actually. Yeah.
And that guy dies.
And he says earlier too, like I'm just a silent partner here. This is your show. Go out there, do this stuff. And I was like, this guy is literally gonna die this episode. It's gonna be awful. But maybe he was testing the waters. I don't know.
Who knows?
But was that your ending thing? Or?
With more Utopia comes Ravi and Major's endeavor into the world of drugs. He does. I don't know enough about this drug to really, properly. What was it like? Look into this blah blah blah. I need to test it out. Can you watch my back?
Do it. And he's like, bro, not really into this watching you do drugs thing. And he goes, I didn't realize our friendship had limitations and all that business. But they end up at the club anyway.
And then bam, they're all drugged up and having fun.
So I really kind of I was starting to hate the thing. Because, they've had these interactions before where, Major's like, bro, come on, I'm totally going to call your mustache Mr. Smarklepants and all those things. And I'm like, whatever. But when they got to the club, there was a little bit about, how are you so bad at buying drugs? And he's like, what? Come on. And he's like, you bought a grenade out of the trunk of a car. And he's like, it's a different skill set. And they're doing that stuff. And I was like, I kind of like this now. This is kind of okay.
It's no skill set.
What, buying things from criminals that want to sell you them? I know.
And I like he did the like when the guy's like, and I was like, he's like, oh, it's like 2, one for now and one for later for a controlled environment.
2, please. Yes, it was like 2 cracks, please, or whatever.
Yes, it reminded me of the Always Sunny thing. Exactly.
So I was like, okay.
And I didn't hate that. And I like Ravi. I think he's a funny guy, and most of the funny lines come from him.
Yeah. And he had the good stuff later. He's like dancing up on the thing and all that stuff. Very goofy dancing scenes or whatever. Major was supposed to be the trip sitter, but he just took the other one and like did it himself too or whatever.
And then went to buy more.
Yeah, well, now he needs it. Now it's a thing.
And it makes sense, and it's actually like a bad thing. Now he'll just be a drug addict and a drug addict murderer. And I think so the same reason we liked him was for not talking and doing things, is now we'll dislike him for just not doing things and just sitting there brooding.
And being like super emo and stuff.
Yeah, what a bitch.
The grenade thing. So Liv has to go pick them up.
Yeah, Liv is sent to save him. Someone like went into his pocket, got his phone, and called his emergency contact. Like, do phones have emergency contacts?
That actually made me like think about that, because I'm like, he said like, yeah, I found it on his in case of emergency in his phone, and I'm like, do I need one of those? I had like the same reaction where I'm like, is that a thing? Should I add someone to my phone as in case of emergency?
As a person who's found multiple phones, like be it at work or in life, I just call the contacts. I just go down the contacts and I call people. Yeah. I try for mom first because that's the easiest, and that person usually has a way of contacting them that's not their cell phone.
Yeah.
But it's weird. There's no such thing as emergency contact in your phone at all.
Well, there's no thing built in, but they could just be in your contacts list as like exclamation point in case of emergency.
I guess.
But how would they get in there to call that if there's a password or whatever?
Not all phones have passwords.
I don't, but like most people do, I feel like, so I don't know.
Mine does.
But now I'm going to do that, I think.
Oh, no, you know what? Hang on. There totally is a thing. No, it totally is a thing. So if you do this, there's emergency. You can call, and I don't know how.
Click on it.
I'll let you call any number. It's not a set thing.
That's how you dial 911, I thought.
Yeah. Why'd you show me to click on it? What if it auto-dial 911? What's wrong with you? You're an animal.
That's hilarious. Because it's not my phone.
Yeah. So emergency does let you call things, but it's
that's
not
a great idea,
thing.
though. On the lock screen, it should let you call exactly one person from that phone. Like,
couldn't you always click the emergency button and call any number you want? Like, I just kept having to call Honduras.
Well, that's why I think that's a weird thing where that just, like, it's only certain numbers or it's only certain things or whatever. You can have phones, even if they don't have, like, a whatever, can still call 911 or something like that. There's some, like, special, exemption or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yes, that, like, stuck in my thing where still I'm like, I should do that. That's, like, your emergency thing. That's amazing.
My lifeline.
I want to phone a friend.
So just to trail back to where this episode began, a dude gets murdered at a frat party, and now we got to go eat some frat brains and get all broed out.
How like concerned were you before, and then how did you feel after when you realized
thinking what was going to happen?
When when you saw the dude. And then you were like, oh, shit, that's the dude that's going to die. And then that dude died. And then you were thinking, wait a minute, Liv has to eat his brain. Well, how's that going to be?
I thought Liv did a good job as the bro.
Okay.
Like her and the other bros talking during but who totally sucks and
who totally sucks.
And he Davin was like, it's not about who sucks, it's not about who you think sucks. Who do you think killed him?
She's like,
or no, you know what made me laugh was there's that part where he's like, he was the best, nobody didn't like him. Well, fair point, someone did murder him. Okay, you're right, bro. You're totally right.
No, yeah. She says that back to him, and he goes like, okay, no, valid point, no, or something like that. And you're like, okay, that's pretty good.
So that was funny. I laughed at that.
There were definitely funny parts there, but it still also made me cringe and die that she was doing these things.
Most of these are just can we get her to do accents? I want her to eat like an Irish guy, and she'll be like, oh, hey, I'm Tom.
Yes.
Oh,
you haven't to American tried.
Yeah, I did British.
But there's I don't know.
That would be hilarious. She eats an Irish guy's brain and does a British accent. It's like, he was Irish. Oh, I don't really know how to do that one.
I was just faking that one, Things that. But I don't know. I've sort of given up on it because I seem to be in a good mood anyway, where I don't really care. But like part of me like again was like, wait, what are the rules here? Does she like she has his memories when not in like visions? Like how does she know how to do these things that aren't skill based? Like how would she know like what is going on with this?
There aren't rules. It's just weird lazy writing.
But the Chug gave her a vision, and
there were at least a fair number of visions this time, like.
And they made sense actually, right?
Yeah. None of them felt forced like they have in the past.
Yeah, right, because she happened to be there, and they all started doing chug, and that's a thing he would have been around. Later, it was when a guy was like that's not funny, or something like that, and that triggered her to be like the guy yelling at her.
And I thought this one, it was not a predictable ending. It was more like a Scooby-Doo ending, where it's like it's someone you didn't even know. Like, you knew them. Yeah. They were introduced barely, but, I did not think that guy was the killer.
No. And they did like a quick rapid fire intro of like 4 people, I think.
Yeah.
And the show's done this a few times where it turns out to be one of the people, but that's kind of how that works. That's kind of okay, I think. Should we just breeze into that?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Go into those things. I guess we should just say there's another guy with the same name, and he was going to speak out against drunk driving stuff, and because he has the same name, the other guy got the invite to the conference against drunk driving.
Yeah, and he's a drunk.
The guy who's now dead showed up super drunk and did a fake presentation about drunk driving for kids or something like that.
Yeah,
where he was telling them tips about how to not get caught or something. And that made the other guy very angry, and therefore he was a suspect or whatever. But they kept going because there was some reason it wasn't him, alibi or whatever. There's some huge bitch somewhere that was they did a horrible thing where everyone picks the ugliest girl, and they were well, it's probably not her anyway because the killer had to be at least 6 feet tall, and then this gigantic woman shows up.
Yeah, she's like a basketball player.
Yes, like volleyball.
Who did not know what kind of party it was, and they destroyed her life.
And that shit's sad, totally. But drunk driving guy, fucking.
Then, of course, they figure out the suit and who did the murder, and they find out the only suit was rented to these, furry couple.
Yeah, I like that, actually, because it felt believably whatever how the conversation, developed at the very least.
Yeah.
Where he's like, no, and then we took it back or whatever. And he's like, so you rented a costume over the weekend and didn't do anything and, didn't go anywhere? And he's like, no. And he's like, so you didn't use it? Well, we used it. And he's like, what do you mean? Or whatever. And it's this weird thing. Cause,
and then she just blurts it out.
She goes,
I'm a furry.
I'm a furry. And it's kind of cool that, she's the furry, and it's not just the weird dude is all weird or something like that.
Yeah, he's weird enough.
I mean, they're both weird because of it, but it's interesting that whatever. So I feel like she really was a furry, and he saw this as an opportunity to go
most definitely.
With stuff, which I thought was cool. Because that's like a Matlock or Murder, She Wrote level thing. Where you have the A story for your weird thing, but then because that was the night of the whatever and the power was out and you did the thing that night and you're like, oh shit. But yeah, it turns out to be them, that same suit.
Yep. So that guy apparently his father, was it right? Was killed by a drunk driver. That drunk driver, he finally figured out who he was, but it turned out it really wasn't him. It was the guy who was also had the same name who speaks out against drunk driving. Because guess what? He killed someone drunk driving, and he felt really, really bad about it. And now the ironic thing is he's killing this guy because he didn't even feel bad. He was just partying and blah, 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 blah. So he actually killed a completely innocent man. Yeah. And now he had 2 people that killed innocent men.
Has that happened before where the killer killed the wrong person on this show, I think, too, right? I can't think of examples, but
I can't think of one, but maybe someone was cheating on someone, but they were cheating on the wrong one, or wasn't something?
Oh, yeah.
Something I made up.
I feel like, no, but I feel like they've gone to that well, a few times. When the person is, confessing, it, part of it's their, horror where it's wait.
Oh, well, actually, just last episode, the guy didn't kill his dog.
Okay.
But he did kidnap his dog, so he's...
And he was a dick.
And he was gonna kill it.
I mean, we can assume.
Or at least keep it.
He wasn't just gonna feed it bologna and, give it back rubs all
day.
He was
probably
he was a bad man.
Yeah.
Paul
So actually it's a theme of not guilty deaths.
I feel like before, too, there's been weird, misunderstandings. Because, when that happened, I was like, okay, we're doing that again. But then I was like, wait, when did that happen? I go, I don't know.
Yeah,
but, I don't know. So he said, oh, God, I killed someone. I didn't play it. And all those businesses.
Yeah.
We talked about the drug dealer's dead, Stacy Boss, Mr. Boss. Blaine goes to the DEA, I think before or after he goes to his dad. He's like setting up all these things. He wants the DEA or attorney, whatever the fuck, to go. No, the DA.
DA.
Yeah, to go after Mr. Boss to try to like bring him down or whatever. And he's using the dead drug dealers as kind of a thing. And then I'm like, was this all part of your plan? That's a little weird. That's kind of crazy.
No, but interesting. Not like super interesting though, this episode. It was okay. I gave this like a 6 maybe on their scale.
Okay.
Well, because their episodes go to like -40, so like.
Yeah, like a 6. Yeah, I'm good with that. Like, it wasn't as good as last episode by sheer virtue of it being nothing better than last episode.
Well, and certainly not better than the season finale of last season.
Right.
So in the last 3 episodes, it's the worst.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. So we got like we didn't quite mention the pranking. Liv pranked Robbie.
Yeah, well, she took on his pranking atmosphere. The first person to sleep gets whatever, and Robbie sleep on the couch, so he gets sparkled and makeup, and she wrote fart on his head.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
But that's
I hate that childish bullshit.
in real life or just in this example?
I wrote fart on you. Ha ha ha. It's just like
they should write something else.
It's so PG-13, like.
Oh, okay.
And I hate that. Or PG.
Yes.
G.
Okay, I thought you were saying you hated the childishness of drawing on someone when they fall asleep.
No, if it's funny, it's funny.
Okay, I got you. I was hoping for a minute there. I was like, oh, good. He thinks that's dumb, too. And then you're like, no, fart, come on, you can do much better than that.
Could have drawn a dick on him.
Right? You could have said, bad words we're not allowed to use on this show.
So how'd this episode end?
Yeah, were you forgetting anything?
Well, Major is curled up on the bed, like, drugged out, and, like, because he had just thrown all the phones away, and he almost told them that they were being watched and what his job may have been, actually. But he didn't,
is that
he
what you
didn't
got
get
from that comment?
Yeah,
like,
100%. 100%. But he didn't actually get all that out. He replaced the phones. Liv comes by, wants to talk to him. He says, like, go away, I'm busy. And he's just, like, strung out and watching videos of the girl and the son crying over their dad.
Yeah, he's repeatedly watching the, like, plea on the news for the missing persons or whatever.
Yeah.
He's not going to be very useful as this zombie hitman if he's all strung out on Utopium. So I assume there's going to be some sort of, like, intervention.
I wonder if there'll be, I got tainted Utopium and someone turns into a zombie again.
Who?
Anybody.
Oh.
In life.
Major?
Somebody.
I don't know.
Major lily cut white bottom.
Major lily white. They didn't come into play with like the Spidey, zombie sense anymore.
No.
I would have liked to see a little more of Major kicking ass and dealing with shit before he I guess one's enough, but he did go kill a bunch of other people too before.
Yeah.
Zombies or whatever.
Well, we'll see what the next episode brings. He might be back to his normal self. It might just be like totally on, then like strung out. Totally on, strung out.
Yeah, maybe this is just him
coping,
winding down after a hard day's whatever.
You come home from a long day's work, you need a little bit of Utopia.
Long day of zombie killing. So that was the end, and I don't think that we forgot anything. So
no, that was the whole episode. Not like a ton happened in it, and it it was okay. I didn't hate it, but I want to say if things keep going in this direction, it'll be getting worse rather than rising. So optimistically, I'm going to say the next episode will be better.
I hope it is.
Yeah. And we'll find out next week. Until then, guys, don't die in a fire.
Buenos nachos.
What?